to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Well, actually, it's Becky Brown sitting in for Steve Arterburn. I am so privileged to be joined by Dr. John Townsend and Dr. Jill Hubbard. Hello, you guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Becky.
I am so excited to sit in the chair for Steve, and we miss him dearly, and I don't even claim to be as funny as he is because, you know.
Well, actually, nobody in the world is as funny as Steve Arterburn.
I know, my gosh.
Or
he just
the
has
comedic timing that
Goodness.
he has.
He does. He has the way.
It's the
He has
best.
a way about him. That's for sure. What I am excited about too, though, is John, your new book, People Fuel, is just an amazing handbook that everyone should have in their library, and actually, they should probably carry a copy and highlight and tag the pages. You know, I want to know, why is having needs, you know, because all of us have needs, and we need people, but why is that a good thing? How do we kind of organize what we need and the relationships we have? What would work?
Well, should we talk? Which question should we talk about? You said why are they a good thing, and then you say how's it work? What's the best way to handle this?
I think maybe start with
The why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a big question with Christians. It sounds so selfish, and that's why I took the concept of bionutrients. We all have, you know, I'm taking my little supplements today. If you have enough calcium, you're great. If you don't have enough calcium, you'll get like bone problems. If you have enough iron, great. If you don't, then you have anemia problems. That the body requires bionutrients, well researched. So I took the term relational nutrients. Actually, I patented the term. And relational nutrients are the same thing because we have needs on a brain level just like our body needs them. And so instead of a pill or a supplement, Jill and I can talk with you, Becky, and we can give you encouragement. Well, that's a relational nutrient. It happens digitally or on text or on a phone call or on a dinner or whatever. And that's the way that God keeps us positive and creative and focused and able to persevere through things. So if you need it from the Bible, you go back to the Beatitudes where Jesus said, He said, blessed are those who hunger and thirst. And you go to James, it says, you have not because you ask not. So we're supposed to ask for our needs to be met, because then we got to get healthy to make the world a better place. That's how the world goes around. So that's the
So when you're talking about relational nutrients, break that down into, I know you've got the 4 quadrants.
Got the 4 quadrants.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, just like we got iron and we've got the vitamins and minerals and water and protein and all that. There are 4 quadrants, meaning 4 categories. There's 22 nutrients, but that takes too long. The first quadrant.
You got to read the book for all that.
Right.
Yes,
the
that's
first
right.
quadrant is be present. That means sometimes we need people in our life to just shut up and be there with us and love us and not talk a lot and be emotionally present and attune to us and tune in empathetically and comfortably in a comforting way.
And that does so much.
So
you don't have to have something profound to say.
It's kind of the missing link,
It
right?
is, and people
Jill's
think
right.
they're not doing anything.
Being present.
Sorry, that's my
Job
pet.
chapter 2 is the only good thing those guys did. It said they sat with him 7 days and 7 nights, did not speak a word because his grief was very great. You can't overestimate be present. Number 2, convey the good. Sometimes you're discouraged and you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you messed up in a presentation. You need somebody to say, hey, I believe you and I respect you. Number 3 is deliver reality. Sometimes we need somebody to be our Yoda. Hey, I got a problem here. I don't have. What's the strategy for my business or on child parenting? It's kind of what we do here on the show. Is the Yoda, truth and insight and reality. And the 4th one is call to action. Sometimes we've got to get off our butt and do something. What's the plan? What's the action steps? That's how we stay healthy.
Love it so much. And you can get your copy of People Fuel at newlife.com or give us a call at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And we're taking calls, so you can give us a call too, 1-800-229-3000. And we'll be right back after the break.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C. November 15th to the 17th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And welcome back. We are so excited that you joined us. This is Becky Brown sitting in for Steve Arterburn and joined by Dr. John Townsend and Dr. Jill Hubbard taking your calls. We want to encourage you to download the New Life app if you haven't done it already. It's a great resource. We all carry our phones around with us, or even your iPads or whatever tablet you use, and you can get it at your app store absolutely free. Not only can you listen to the program there, but you can also watch the Club New Life video, Club New Life library there, as well as free resources and tip sheets. It's just a great thing to have so that you can continue with your new life. We're going to go to Darla in Dallas, Texas. How are you, Darla? Thanks for holding on. How can we help you today?
Yes, I have a question for you. I have a boss who professes Christianity, but he's a bully. And I have tried to address with him, according to Scripture, on how, I try to deal with him based upon Scripture. Like he, in the beginning, I just started this job last year. And so I've created my own performance plan, and then we have these quarterly meetings. Well, when he has a daily meeting, and in this daily meeting, we're supposed to say what we do. Well, that's what I've been doing. Of course, in the beginning, I didn't have a training plan. I still don't have a training plan. No one trained me. So he goes, when he gets into the meetings, he criticizes my performance. And so during either if I go to his office or during the quarterly meeting, I will say to him, I'm doing exactly what you have told me to do. So is there anything else? And then he doesn't communicate with me. So if I send him an email, most of the time he doesn't respond. He doesn't talk to me. If I ask him questions, he doesn't know. And then he can't direct me to anyone who does know. And so this recent episode, he stood up in front of we have all staff meeting in front of everyone. So it's about 17 people. And then he threatened to end my employment.
Oh, goodness.
So
wow.
So then I responded to him I mulled over it, and then the next day I just wrote him a nice email and just said, hey, what you did, I wasn't comfortable with. It wasn't funny to me. We just should have a professional relationship. Well, then he gets mad. Then he sends me this other email about something that occurred like 2 or 3 weeks prior, and and wanted to formalize it. And he never apologized. He never said anything that he was wrong. He just pointed out this one thing that I did a few weeks ago. So
it sounds like a mess. It sounds like a mess, Darla. And you have one of the expert leaders here, Dr. John Townsend, helps people in the workplace all the time. No. John, what would you direct Darla?
Yeah, Darla, Becky's right. This is like beyond what it should be. That was super unprofessional. And an email asking him to change is sort of like, putting a Band-Aid on something really bad. I can see why you would do that. We got to go beyond that. Now, you said you had the all hands meeting or the all folks meeting. It's 17 people.
Yes.
Does your company have an HR, human resources department?
Yes, yes, we do. But they are as horrible as. I mean, they don't support the employee. They absolutely will support.
All right,
him.
I'm going to go over kind of the questions we're supposed to ask, and I'll get to something here with you then. Okay, so HR's we'll disqualify them.
Yes.
Does he have a boss, or does he own the company?
He has a boss.
Mm-hmm. Do you have access to that boss?
But his boss, I could get access to that boss, but that boss knows. He knows him. He knows how this person is because he stopped me in the hallway and asked me, "Do my boss give me any work?"
Well,
and
knowing that
I'm
is a good thing. That's an advantage to you if he knows the dynamic. So, but the conversation goes like this: you go to your boss and say, "I would never go around you, but if we can't solve this, and the shaming you just did, I don't think was, a real problem for me and all that. So I'd like to, if we can't solve this, I'd like to call your boss and bring him to have a three-way talk." That's how this is done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because there's a thing in management called managing upward. When you manage somebody working for you, that's managing downward. Well, unfortunately, Darla, you're having to manage someone upward who's not very competent. And so that means that you've got to, number one, in a respectful way, you've got to use the authority system and the org chart system. But the second thing is, while you're telling him that, I need to go to your boss, I would add this, and I just call this the ally, and this is something I write about. You need to ally with the pressure that he is under. In other words, look, I'm a team player. And I know, see, he's got pressure from his boss, who has pressure from his boss, from the stakeholders and the customers. Everybody's got pressure for his own KPIs, for his own metrics, for his own performance goals. So if you say to him, "Look, I want to help you with your job. You've got a burden on you." Then he feels allied, that Darla's not after me. She wants to help me win. But you're going to have to bring that third party in.
Great insight, John. Great insight.
Okay, and I've done that. I've been a manager, and I've been managing it for a while. The problem is he doesn't know his job. He doesn't trust anything I say.
Which is your boss's problem. See, that's not Darla's problem. That's the boss's problem. Keep putting the pressure where it belongs.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Darla.
Okay. Good luck, Darla.
Yeah.
I think we'll send her a copy of People Fuel as well.
Yeah, there's some stuff in there about chronics and contaminants, and when we take it to the workplace in the book, and it could be helpful, some principles in there.
So to that point, John, I know we talked about the 7 C's before, but just for those listeners that may not have heard that, when you're talking about chronics or contaminants, can you expand on those people?
Yes.
Well, chronics are the category. I'm originally from the South, and we used to call them bless their heart.
Oh, yeah. Bless their little pointed heads.
Yeah. It means they're not a bad person, but they've always got a problem in marriage and money or whatever, or health. They never solve their problems because they have what I call in the book a zero learning curve. It's flat. So you give them all this advice, and you pray with them, and you give them 3 steps, and you blah, 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 and they go and they screw up their life again. Zero learning curve. And they're nice people, but you can't put a lot of time into them until they start doing your homework assignments, right? So that's one way we suck our lives dry. The other's contaminants, and they're just bad people. I mean, I believe in evil in the world, unfortunately, and there's a devil, and there are bad people, and they're envy-based. They want to mess up your marriage, their business, your heart, your organization, your church, and you have to keep a very short leash on them. Jesus said, shake the dust off your sandals. So be careful with chronics and be not around contaminants.
I think it's so powerful, and we all had people come into our minds as you were talking about that.
You got some bless your hearts in your head there somewhere.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And usually what I do is go, "Oh, bless your heart," But
now I know, Becky.
It's not you, Jill.
Oh,
let's talk to Rodney. Who is not one of those bless your hearts, but he is in the South. He's in Dallas and listens to KWRD, and we love our listeners in KWRD. Rodney, how can we help you today?
It's kind of long and complicated. Been married for 17 years. I have 2 kids. The youngest is 14. He's autistic. Deals his 15, and the oldest, she it's been really hard to deal with the last 2 to 3 years. A lot of attention-seeking avoidance behavior, faking seizures at school, just to get out of school, saying she's suicidal, just to get out of school, and she gets hospitalized for this, claiming that she's been assaulted, raped, and then coming clean about it about over a year later, and then even called the CPS on me in May, and since then our relationship has been very strained, and I don't feel safe. I don't trust her. I don't feel comfortable, and my wife, she's in a hard spot. You know, she has a husband that, you know, she wants to support, daughter she wants to support, but I'm more or less the disciplinarian in the family, or I want action to be taken serious, and those are certain things my wife wants to avoid, like a residential treatment center, and stuff along those lines. And when the CPS lady came over to the house, and we had to deal with that, which was a lot easier than I thought it'd be, but they gave us some information and some resources. You know, they're not ideal by any means,
well, so Rodney, what have you done? Did you take up any of those resources, or find some that were more suitable for you?
Well, those resources that aren't ideal, or more like long-term permanent solutions for Kayla. For outside the house, not living here with us, but I mean, for 3 years now, she's been seeing a psychiatrist. She's been medicated, and she sees a social worker weekly.
How about you, though? How about you and your wife?
We haven't been able to do a whole lot together. I'm a disabled vet, and it's really put a strain on me. I've actually had to go back to the VA yesterday. My wife took me because both the kids were at school and she was off, and so we went down to the ER, and we gave me back on medication because it was just too much. It
is a lot. It's a lot to raise. Yeah, it's a lot to raise teenagers, no matter what they're dealing with. But when you have two of them that have some big challenges, it can be a lot on top of what you're already dealing with.
Yeah,
John
Rodney,
or Joe, what would you suggest?
First, let's ask, what's your question, Rodney? We can focus. It'll help us focus, so we can really help you. So just ask a question.
Well, I guess so far what we did to this point right now is came up with a plan and put on paper, for our daughter to start making changes in her life, and then also for what my wife and I can do better. And then at those that period, if things don't change, then it's in the plan that we'll have to find other accommodations. But every time this comes up, because this is the first time it came up, my wife and I will have a big fight because she calls Mama Bear and protect it until I get that. But I'm the one that's left holding the bag. I'm the one that's I very much feel like a victim. And this is a person, unfortunately, that has zero to little remorse. And she has so much compulsiveness to her that, so that's what scares me. And, it took my wife a while to realize to see my point, to realize the danger that I feel on a daily basis. And it took the church, to help us get to that point. And my one of the members of the church we go to.
Rodney, let me interrupt you for just a second. We're going to go to a break in a minute, and when we come back, we'll offer a couple of options. I think it's hard when there's so many things that are overwhelming you to even articulate what it is that you need and where do I start. And it sounds like you've done some things, but this is a family issue. Everybody needs help. You all need compassion. And I would say the reason why your wife is blowing up is because she's feeling it too.
She's under the pressure, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's under pressure. Exactly. So we're going to take a break and we'll come back. But, all of us have family issues. And sometimes these things, it feels like the house is on fire. And there is help. There's hope. We just got to...
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You are a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We are so thankful that you've joined us. Jill, why don't you go ahead and offer Rodney some help on that call.
So I think for Rodney, there's Becky, like you were saying, there's so many things going on here. And what I usually do is, like, you start with some help and then you keep upping the level of help based on the need, right?
Great idea.
So it's like if you're scooping out water out of a boat, you use as many buckets as you need. So I think for Rodney, he's good to go and get help for himself first, because he needs to be stable in order to help the situation. I'm concerned about the wife.
Yes.
With 3 members of her family not doing well, right? And so I would draw her in and tap into those VA benefits as best you can for the 2 of you to be united and have some support. So then with the daughter, again, if it's not working, then you go to your treatment team, and you do need a team on this, and say, okay, guys, it's not working. Let's take a next step. So instead of using like your biggest hammer and going to the most extreme form of treatment, you start with the next level. What would be the next level up from what we're doing now? Maybe she needs to be in a contained treatment program. This is a kid that is not contained at all. She's acting out all over the place. She's impulsive, as Rodney, as you've said. So we need a place that can contain her and where she will hit up against, and they are trained to deal with that. So that might mean that she's going away for a few weeks to a program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are also programs for a few months. I've known people to send their kids to, treatment boarding schools for 6 months that have made all the difference in the world, if that's necessary. Right?
Or a year.
So I love that idea. I love that idea of upping the level.
Yes,
and
correct.
all of us, we
just
need
a step up process until you find what works.
Well, it reminds me, going back to the 7 C's, and we were talking about the 2 bottom, the chronic and the contaminants. But, John, we've got to build up those top-tier people. And so who are those top-tier people?
Well, the top 2 in my book, People Fuel, are coaches, which is people that have expertise that we need. It could be a spiritual director, it could be a therapist, it could be a coach, it could be somebody who's good with finances or business or whatever. But we need people who have their 10,000 hours of expertise that we don't know anything about. And we hire them, or they do it pro bono because they're retired and they want to help mentor, but they're all over the place. And the second one is comrades, which are like your comrades in arms, what I call a life team. 3 to 10 people in your life that know you so well, and as we talked about in the last show, they're mutually vulnerable with you. They open up what's going on with them, and there's no shame there, and back and forth. They'll support you. They'll ask you how you're doing. They'll give you grace. They'll give you truth, and that'll keep you alive.
I love that so much. And even back to what Rodney's question is, he needs some of those coaches and
comrades.
The comrades. And so I know, John, that you do so much in helping people train to become professional coaches. What are some of the programs that you have?
Yeah, we're really excited about it, Becky. We have a graduate program. It's an online graduate program called the Townsend Institute for Leadership and Counseling. It's affiliated with Concordia University, Irvine, California, but since it's online, it's all over the world. We got students all over the world. You can get a master's in counseling. You can get a master's in organizational leadership if you want to lead an organization. You can get a master's in coaching or consulting. You can get a credential if you don't want to get the master's. And we now have a bachelor's program, and we're just getting our big enrollments for this coming early in 2020, so it's time to enroll. But check us out on drtownsend.com, and it's an exciting time. We've got people like Steve Arterburn, Dave Stoop, Henry Cloud, who are part of our fellows, and they teach our students as well as our great faculty. But we're in the lower half of cost because we want to be cost efficient, and we know you're busy and you got 2.5 kids, you got jobs, so we make it convenient for you. We're based on the Bible and neuroscience, big on neuroscience, big on the Bible, and the cool thing is we're very relationally based. Our professors are really connected. You're not going to sit there with your laptop in your kitchen with your bunny slippers on, like writing papers. The people on video with you, they're real time. They want to support you. Your cohort team, your other students, they text back and forth and say, how can you support each other? So we made relationship number one. And for an online program, that's kind of what makes the difference.
I love it. I'm so excited for you and for all of the folks that are participating in that. Right now, I'm excited to talk to Rebecca. What a great name, from California. Rebecca, how can we help you today?
Well, I was calling because I've been married to my husband for 7 years. And throughout our marriage, we've been having a lot of financial problems, actually from the beginning. And my concern was he was just in and out of jobs several times. And financially, it was really, hard for us. And I would notice some things that I would see, like lottery tickets and things like that. But the last draw was that he took money and gambled money, bill money. So I separated. I left, and I told him he had a certain amount of time to leave. And so ever since then, I've been separate. We've been living separate for over 6 months. So I wasn't talking to him for a while, but then I started back talking to him after 5 months, and just saying that because I didn't want to be in a marriage anymore, but over time I kind of
all right, well, Rebecca, you can hear the music, so if you have a question, ask your question, and then we'll get to it.
My question is, we've been separated, and I wanted to know what boundaries should I set, and I'm trying to see how long should this recovery or things happen until we move back together, or what should I do as far as
well, lucky for you, you've got the right person to talk to today, and John Townsend and Jill Hubbard will be back with the answer. If you are part of Club New Life, we appreciate your help so much. If you'd like to join, you can go to newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and sign up there. Club New Life helps us do all that we get to do to help people find help.
She said, we need to talk. She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. You know, I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. You know, I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. You know, they'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, you know, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. You know, it's no longer simply about surviving. For the first time ever, you know, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay in the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. You're joined Becky Brown with Dr. John Townsend and Dr. Jill Hubbard, and we're talking to Rebecca. And so, Rebecca, you're having some marital difficulties and trying to figure out what the best way is to go about reconciling, if that's possible. Jill, you had some thoughts on this?
I just wanted to say, first of all, Rebecca, I'm just commending you for taking action.
There you go.
Because so many women in your position let things just linger on. And it sounds like right away when you figured things out, you really took action. The second thing is that, okay, so you're separated, and I get that you needed that time to kind of work through things yourself. Time alone doesn't make a difference. So I'm really glad you're asking the questions about, okay, now you guys need a game plan, right? We're not going to just throw this marriage away without intervening and working on it and seeing if there can be some change in that. And so, John, you had some ideas about the game plan.
Yeah, Jill kind of really teed that up really well, Rebecca.
Passing the ball.
And let me give you 5 things to put into the plan, all right? Got a pen?
Okay. Yes.
All right. You're going to need a quarterback. Every game plan needs a quarterback, which means somebody's going to make the call as to when the man is clean and sober enough financially, whether he's going to Dave Ramsey or Gamblers Anonymous or Celebrate Recovery, that somebody's going to have to make the call, because you can't make it because you're in the fishbowl. You can't be objective, nor can he. So somebody that y'all trust, like a good counselor, a good therapist, a good marital person, is going to have to be the person that says, you know, it's been a few months, and Sam, I think you're going to do okay, and you guys try it out. So get the quarterback. Secondly, he's got to get help. If he's had job problems, you've been married 7 years, and job problems during that time, and then he's sneaking away with lottery, and now he's stealing the money from your guys' finances. This is beyond him being a good boy and willpower.
Mm-hmm.
It's way beyond it. So he's got to get help, and there's help out there. Thirdly, somebody's going to have to determine the time. And like Jill says, I can't overestimate emphasize what Jill said. It's not just time. People stay crazy for 50 years. There's nothing going on. There's got to be grace, truth, and time. So how much time is it going to take if he's working his program? Somebody's got to decide that. The fourth thing is, often in these cases, there's a tryout time. So you don't have to go back in there and be financially vulnerable again.
Right.
They'll say, well, we'll try it for a month, and if he's good and he loves you and he has self-discipline and gives you control over money and that sort of thing, okay, then try it a second month. But you never should go in all the way until he's proven himself. So tryout times. And then I'm going to send you a copy of my book, Beyond Boundaries.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah, if somebody's betrayed
book.
You and you love them and you want to give them another chance, there's a structure there to know when to stick your toe back in the water. All right? But that's how people do this.
Great. Okay. So great. Thanks for calling, Rebecca. I love when you give those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, John. And I'm writing notes at the same time because it translates to so many relationships. It's so
well, and I like the idea of he's got to take some steps and get involved in working a program.
Or nothing happens.
Right.
Or
and
nothing
has
happens.
to have accountability outside of her. And she doesn't put all her money together with him. She protects that because that's where his vulnerability is, right?
Like if somebody's on a diet, you put the cookies, in the lock and key somewhere.
Right. So you do something to protect that so that she isn't harmed.
Relationships are so complicated, aren't they?
Yes.
I mean,
and all behavior has meaning, and he's got to get to what that means for
Something
him.
about that.
Exactly. Well, we're going to go to Amy in Charlotte, North Carolina, who listens on the internet. And Amy, we're glad you joined us today. What is your question for us today?
Hi, I have struggled with impulsivity my whole life and a lack of self-control, self-discipline. I feel like I struggle with this more than other people, and if I have a bag of candy, instead of just eating one, I'm going to eat the whole bag, or if a show comes on that I like, I might sit up half the night, and I notice others that have more self-control, more self-discipline, they seem to have more money, be in better shape, go further in school, and I was just wondering if you guys could help me with that.
Okay. Do you have just help in general, or do you have a specific place where this is causing you problems?
Yeah. Do you function in life? Are you able to
Yes,
progress
I
in
do, and
any
I'm not
areas of your life?
morbidly obese.
You're what?
You're morbidly obese.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not.
I'm a normal size. I'm just saying it's harder for me to overcome the impulsivity because then I have to pay for it in the long run, and just all across the board, I think I would benefit.
Hey, Amy, here's what would help us. Here's what would help us. What's it cost you in life quality?
Good question.
Sleep deprivation, exhaustion at times, a smaller bank account.
Okay, got it. Very helpful.
So it's really hard for you to say no to yourself, is what you're telling us.
Yes.
Right? And so there is something in that in saying no, like often that people describe that as feeling like a huge deprivation, that somehow, it's like compensating for something in life.
Well, John, it reminds me, John, of your book, The Entitlement Cure. And sometimes we become entitled, and it kind of takes a mind of its own. That's what it sounds like you're describing, Amy, that there's no inside of you, that when you get excited about something, there are no limits, that, there's no movie that's too long, or no series of movies or candy, as you say. There's all kinds of things.
Netflix binging takes a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Right.
Right.
Hey, Amy, the way to look at this is, do you mind saying how old you are?
45.
All right.
Okay.
This nice 45-year-old person that just wants to talk to Jill and Becky and John, she has a 2.5-year-old inside of her. Okay? That's all it is there's a part of you that's still really young, and 2.5-year-olds are basically impulse disorders, and they can't say no to anything. And so everybody always goes, well, you got to try harder and you got to like wake up in the morning and do your New Year's resolution. And that's just not the answer. The Bible talks about in Hebrews, where it talks about discipline, it says that discipline seems bad at the moment, but for those who are trained by it, it brings forth the peaceable fruit of righteousness. And the idea, Amy, is that you've got to have, since that 2.5-year-old doesn't have internal discipline, you've got to have external structure to give you internal discipline. In other words, that's why people who get morbidly obese, what do? They don't go to willpower. They go to Weight Watchers. They go to Every Man's Battle, and they go to a gym and pay a bunch of money per year, because the external structure of bells and whistles and goals and somebody to help you and support you and give you accountability, the external structure gets internalized, just like that's how our children grow up. External structure gives them the ability to say, okay, I can study now for 15 minutes and then an hour, and then in a few years I can study for a week in college. But you don't have that. So you're going to need to surround yourself with external, nice people and experts. It might just be accountability friends. It might be a Bible study. It might be a therapist. I don't know. But you're going to have to get some people around you who will say, we're on the Amy team, and we're going to text you and give you information and love you. And I think at this stage, it's probably going to be more than just friends. Probably need to get a professional there.
I think
but the external must become internal.
Yes, I think, and getting your team together, which includes friends and then some professionals, right? So to get a therapist, and I wonder even to get, evaluated. I mean, this could have all kinds of meanings. One of the things could be ADD.
Sure.
Right? And that is something you can get medication for that can help with the impulsivity.
It's correlated with impulsivity.
Right, right. So finding out what the meaning of this is for you, instead of just, making yourself bad, right? And feeling bad about yourself and then wanting to get away from those feelings, and so indulging more in the impulsivity.
And living in Groundhog Day, which just never works.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So
what book would you guys suggest for Amy? People Fuel?
I would probably suggest actually the new Boundaries book, because people who have impulsive issues, like Jill said, they can't say no to themselves, and Boundaries is about saying no, and not only to other people but to the parts of ourselves too. So it just came out last year.
Well, we'll send that to you, Amy. And you know what I love about that whole concept is, even if you're not struggling to the extreme that Amy's talking about, where you just can't say no, all of us need to have the ability to surround ourselves with people who can speak into our lives. And I think that's such an important thing. But what happens, we get into the shame of what we're doing wrong, and so then we can't reach out. But I hope that you reach out to New Life today and offer a gift of any amount, and we'll send you the New Life calendar for 2020. As well as if you want to join Club New Life, you can join for as little as $30 a month, which makes the difference in so many people's lives. You can go to newlife.com to join, or you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And if you join today, we're giving you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing, all written, that's good English, written by Steve Arterburn. But you know what, I love it. It's a great way to start the new year. There's over a devotional a day, and who doesn't need to be in the Word and just reflect on where God's leading us.
My wife had found me out and came home one weekend. She had revealed my secret. The only reason I was sorry at that time is because I had been caught. I had the Every Man's Battle book for years and pulled that book out that weekend and found the phone number on the back and called it, and then a week later I was at Every Man's Battle. It really gave me the start I needed for my recovery. I never had that opportunity to sit down with guys I didn't even know and totally open up. The good thing was I was opening up to guys I didn't even know. So why did I care? Just lay it all out on the table. I have nothing to lose. You need to check it out. At least go online, check out what it's about, and take the chance and go do it.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to go on struggling, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. I just want to remind everybody, one of the greatest privileges that I have is to be at all of our workshops, except for Every Man's Battle, but we have an Every Man's Battle workshop that's coming up December 6th in Denver. And, we talk about them all the time, but one of the most powerful things that we hear from our folks that have attended is the group process. And normally when people go to the, sign up, they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in a group, and that sounds, a little bit too close for me, but it is life-changing. And so, if you've thought about going to a workshop, maybe 2020 will be the time that you go for the Intimacy in Marriage. We got one in February. But the Every Man's Battle, this is the last one that we're going to have in 2019. And some of you guys have been thinking about it all year. I want to challenge you just to make the call and get there.
And it's just so proven. It's been going on for so long, and they've dialed in, and the research is great. It's just proven. It's kind of like a built-in turnkey way to get a new start. There's hope there.
We've helped literally thousands.
Absolutely.
Of
well,
men.
We wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't
exactly
work, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I'd like to welcome Neil to the program. Thank you, Neil, for holding on. What can we do for you today?
Hey, good afternoon. I just I don't know if I'm going to ask the right question or not, but here it goes. I would like to know how to grieve for myself, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
A lot of our grief is about ourselves. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah. I was diagnosed with cancer at the end of last summer, and I've been plowing through all of that. And yes, it's as horrible as everybody tells you that it is. And I'm really having issues with, I don't know, for lack of a better word, feeling badly about it. And the example I'll give you is, you get up in the morning, and this is not going on currently, but it was when I was in the middle of the horrible treatments. I'd go in for radiation or chemo, and there's a child there. Well, that child's got it, much worse than I do, potentially. And I think to myself, okay, well, how am I? Is it okay to feel badly about it? And it kind of is bugging me because I'm not sure that I'm processing that properly, and I don't want to have any long-term issues with it. And I suppose maybe a side effect, I'm not sure if it's a side effect or not, if that's the right word, is, I go to church, oh, you must be so thankful, you're so much better, and God's been working in your, I don't
it's minimized.
feel thankful.
Yeah.
I don't really feel thankful, and I feel, and I technically I should be. We all should be thankful, right? But I'm not. I'm at the more of the I'm still mad about it stage, and perhaps. And so I don't know. I just want to make sure that I'm setting myself up so that down the road I don't have issues.
Well, Neil, I think what you're saying is it okay to be authentic with what's happening in your life? I mean, nobody wants cancer, right? So much so that people who don't have it just want it to be okay. They just want you to be better. And so it's hard to move into it with you. And yet you are seeing the worst of it every day. And to see a child, when you say, is it okay to feel badly, I think you're feeling sad. Right? You're sad and mad. And why is this ravishing so many people's lives and bodies? Right?
Yeah.
That this is this kid's childhood. Yeah.
I suppose so. And I actually feel, and then I guess I get in a spiral where I start to feel badly about it. And even if the word is sad, whatever word you want to use.
Okay.
And then I feel worse because, once again, there's always somebody who's got it worse than you do. And so that.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. When you are measuring, is it okay to grieve for yourself? You're right. You can always find somebody worse. But you know what? The person on the planet that has it the absolute worst, they're not the only person that gets to grieve. Because whatever's happening to you is the worst to you. Right? And we can't measure the depth of how somebody feels something. It's not measured on the circumstances. It's measured on how it touches you. So you are right in there. If this is the worst that has happened to you, you're right in there. And we get to even grieve for lesser things than the worst.
Do you find, Neil, that you are keeping your grief tucked away so that you're not able to process it because you keep bumping up against all either the people that are going, well, at least you're still here, and or you look at the child that's suffering. Is that what you're saying? You're just tucking it away somewhere, but you're feeling it.
Well, the honest answer is I'm not sure. I don't think I'm doing that, but I don't know how to express it. Maybe that's. So maybe I am.
There you go.
I'm not consciously doing that. I'm not. I don't. That's why I'm calling. I just don't know. It's easy. You go to the funeral. The person's. There's a process there. You go through sadness and then maybe anger, and over time you get. And I'm not sure that I've done anything except feel frustrated, and there's a lot going on. But I'm wondering. That's why I'm calling, because I'm just wondering if if there's a process that I'm supposed to go through. I'm pretty sure there probably is. I'm not in denial about feeling sad or anything like that. I just I want to do it right. How's that?
So a lot of people use creative outlets to express grief. It's one of the ways, whether it be just writing their raw feelings out, creating poetry, things of that nature to express, because I think the need to express is great.
Well, and to answer your question, Neil, there isn't a right way.
Right.
Grief is messy work, but it does need to happen. And so sometimes, I always stay away from like prescriptive, like you need to do X, Y, and Z by this particular time. But for some people, they need to go run. And other people, it's like what Jill said, they need to write it out. Other people, they just need to cry, and they need to allow that pain to come up and out.
Or they need to be able to tell a safe person.
Exactly. And, there are support groups that can help you with that process. I don't know if you would feel, or I'm sure somebody in your cancer treatment has talked about cancer support groups, right? Maybe?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And have you participated, or?
I have not, and I'm not opposed to doing that. I just didn't consider that was something that I would need. So maybe I discounted it. Perhaps, I don't know.
Well, I think having both the support of caring, healthy people, and then also people that are going through it, they have a different perspective than people who aren't. And that's where the mutual support can be really beneficial. You get it. And you need to be with other people that get it. What is it like to see that child? What is it like to go through the treatments? What is it like to feel it in your body? Those are important things to have shared.
Okay.
All right. Well, and then of course, Neil, if it wasn't a good idea to go to the support group before, it may require you to connect with a friend, somebody that would go with you, or, to feel supported as you go to the support group, which, sounds kind of odd, but, I want you to feel like you are supported in your grieving process, whatever that process looks like for you. And I know, John, you've been talking about having these life teams, and I can't imagine a more important time than when you're facing a critical illness such as cancer to have a team around you. And I don't know, what would you offer, Neil, as far as looking at a team?
Yeah, just a few things that have to do with that, Neil. One, we have to understand what grief is, its purpose is. It's to honor something by saying goodbye. You got, who knows what you've got? I didn't ask you how terminal you were, but it's to honor the things that you're going to lose by saying goodbye to them. That's a way to respect and honor part of your life. The second one is you've got to feel the loss, which is not just the honoring, it's an emotion. But the third is comfort. The Bible says we got to comfort those with which we've been comforted. It's time for you to receive comfort. That's how God does this.
I thank you so much for that, John, and I think that just, it speaks to all of us because we all deal with it. Thank you all for listening today.
We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.